This is our 10th Christmas with you. Do you recognize the sweater? This is the focus group.
It's the savvy side of 9 to 5. Listen.
Bueller.
Laugh. And learn.
Negotiation. This is what you do in business.
This is the focus group with Tim Bennett.
Staunch.
And John Nash.
Keep your clothes looking neat and clean.
We're all business. Except when we're not.
Hey, welcome to the focus group, and for some Christmas merriment, I'm wearing my Christmas sweater, which for many years when we were on Sirius XM, I would wear this. Then anybody would see it. But when there were some still photos, or we had the woman on from the Preppy Handbook, Lisa Birnbach, we wore it. In the last couple of years here, when we've had video, I've worn it as well. I'm kind of pleased it still fits.
Looks great.
It's an old Norwegian ski sweater from the U.S. ski team back in the day. I bought this at LL Bean probably early 2000s.
I call it a quality garment. You know, we got a note on at letters@focusgroupradio.com. And by the way, if you ever want to reach us, letters@focusgroupradio.com. A guy said, I think I might have said something last week about how I'm really careful about buying clothes. And he says, it's kind of funny that you say that because now you have some clothing sponsors because we work with Peter Millar and Mac Weldon. I'll clarify and say I'm a careful clothing shopper. And I have a rule. If something comes in, something has to leave. That's not bad.
That's a good rule. That's a good rule. I don't have it, but that's a good rule.
You don't have it, but it's a good rule.
So on this show before Christmas, we're going to do a shop talk that actually is quite funny. It was about the difference between the Trump administration and the Obama administration's food habits
at the White House.
At the White House. And then after our break, we're going to have a little merriment. And we have a gift that one of our listeners, Ruth, sent us that I don't know what it is, but she said she referred to it from a bit that we did a while back about a puzzle. And did you have another box? Or
yeah, Garrett mentioned that we got a box, but it came from Texas. There it is. It's big. We should open that. We'll open that after the break. We'll open that after the break as well.
And did you? And we have cocktails. What we don't have Manhattans. Bob's not here.
No, we have Prosecco for the boys in the booth, which we have John and Garrett. We have John on video, Garrett on audio. These guys, thank you for a great year, you two.
Oh, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure.
No, really. You know, we know something that everybody in broadcast should know, and that you're nothing if your team can't get you on the air. And our team is fantastic, right?
You guys ever sick?
They've never been sick, right?
No, you've never not been here.
That's something.
Been there, yeah.
You're always just moving along.
Yeah, I've worked here 4 years, never one sick day.
Really?
Hand sanitizer.
John was talking about that at lunch, that you got to have hand sanitizer.
I think it's bad for you, actually.
John, it could be, but I'm maniacal about washing my hands now.
They banned it at hospitals.
Did they really?
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
because it's so bad for you. It just causes more germs, or stronger germs.
Really?
Interesting. Knocks your immunity down.
Now, Garrett, Mr. Nash, I try to push him along. He's not very, very, very holiday-ish. Are you getting in the spirit finally? Did you and your? No?
Did you see his face?
Did the tree get put up or anything?
Yeah, I went and dragged the tree home.
In a laundry cart or the shopping cart like you had to do, right?
Dragged the tree home.
And then my girlfriend invited her gay best friend over, and they decorated it. So it wasn't that bad.
I'm sure it looks awesome.
Garrett.
I ate the cheese and salami and crackers.
You sat and watched.
Pretty much.
Oh, and hey, another thing
That's what John does with Bob.
I don't mean to be, I'll be a distracted driver and I should call it up, but Garrett does have a fan from our show. Yeah, there's a guy that sent a note about how much he loves Garrett's voice.
Oh.
Let me find it here.
I wonder who that is.
Very funny.
Was it Aunt Barbara?
No.
You'll have to find out who that was.
Hey there, Tim and John. Oh, yeah. Hey there, Tim and John. Big fan of the show, and I know Garrett is a straight guy, but the way he says thanks deep discount just makes me want to pinch his cheeks. So I guess I have a man crush on him. Isn't that adorable?
Say who it is?
It's a guy named Dave, yeah. Oh. I won't use his last name, but he I don't even know what he looks like. I just smile. So he must be an audio listener.
Yeah.
Because people would know what Garrett and John look like if they watched on the YouTubes, right?
We had that with years ago. Did you know Shaq or Shaq from Sirius XM? Tall, skinny, black guy.
The name sounds sort of familiar, but
he went from us, and then of course he went to Martha Stewart before they canceled her. And Anyone who left our show, Rosie, people left and went to Rosie. She was canceled.
They went to
Oprah, canceled. Every show got canceled but us. But he had one of those voices too that everybody loved.
Everybody loved Shaq's voice.
Yeah.
And he had fans who would I'm calling in just to hear Shaq.
just
Because
hear
he was
Shaq.
the call screener for a while. And here's another funny thing about Shaq. He was always late. And the one day he wasn't late, that he was early, was
In
the
a year
day.
and a half.
In a year and a half.
Yeah, at one time he was not
was
late.
the day that our producer, Katie Castellano, she had flown in from Hawaii. She had missed a subway connection or something. She was late. She was in tears. Shaq unlocked the board, got the show going. She comes in, and she was shocked because Shaq was here. We're like, yeah, he's early.
But unlocked the board within seconds. I mean, it's like 3, 2, and he's like... And as you know,
we're live.
Sirius XM is very...
And the interesting thing about live radio is you're live,
about that.
and you can't have dead air. You just have to keep doing your thing.
So, John, we got these. I'm going to have a cocktail while we're sitting here. Southern Tier
Gin and tonic. Yeah, these are from Penn Station.
Well, Southern Tier, yeah. But Southern Tier...
Ah, the sound of the... This is a
they're out of New
guys.
York.
Remember we did this once before, and John had all the cans over the desk? This is...
Because I got tuned up.
Yeah, this is a pre-made gin and tonic. I'm going to have a little bit.
You're only going to have a little bit.
Tastes fine.
Whenever you boys want to pop your Prosecco, too, you can do that, too, because we'll have that. We'll have that
It's
as
got
well.
cucumber in it. So that's why it tastes like... what's...
Are you drinking it out of the...
No,
I should put it in this cup.
Put it in the cup for her.
Is that what I should put it in?
Well, that can's been sitting in a liquor store in Penn Station. Yeah, we just had a conversation about hand sanitizer with John. So.
And your mouth has been over a lot of things worse than this. Right? Boys know. Merry Christmas.
Whoa! And we haven't gone 9 minutes in, and we are off the rails, out of the train yard. Okay.
These are a pretty good thing, I think. So we've talked about these before. We should get them as a sponsor.
I don't recognize this brand.
This is a different brand, but if you're going to the beach or doing something, I think these canned cocktails.
This is brilliant. It doesn't.
Pretty good.
It tastes like a really good blend.
What do you guys think of these canned? Have you had these canned cocktails before?
No. You're the only ones I've ever seen have them.
I had this dry rosé canned drink once that was really good, yeah.
So there's a liquor store in Penn Station. I think they get a lot of the commuters obviously heading out to
paper bagging it,
Connecticut and New Jersey and upstate New York and Philadelphia, whatever, and the people buy these things. But
I'd paper bag that.
Pretty darn good. I don't know what they charge for them.
It reminds me of when we went to London a few weeks ago for Bob's birthday. We were sitting in JFK. And we were having a slice of pizza before getting on the plane. And the woman goes, "Would you like something to drink?" And Bob goes, "I'll have a gin and tonic." And I said, "Oh, might as well have a vodka tonic." And she goes, "Do you want a single or a double?" Now, I have never heard of this before. A drink is a drink, right?
You never heard of a single or a double?
Well, so we were like, well, why not? We're flying. Let's do a double.
Where have you been?
I'm
a double.
A bartender never had. If I said to someone, Tito's and tonic.
Make it a double.
I have never said make it a double. I usually but I made it a double. And I was like, after I had the drink and the pizza, it's such a relaxed departure. We were right at the gate. We had plenty of time. I thought to myself, I should have cocktails more. I should drink more often.
Tone you right down. You need to be toned down a little bit. You think too
laughing.
much. You do. You think too much.
I do. It's a problem.
You got to be toned down, I think. Don't you or no?
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Nash, did anything catch your eye this week?
What caught your eye? Here's what Tim and John found.
Yes. And it involves the holiday, and it involves atheism.
Atheism?
Atheism, yeah. Let's not forget that Jesus is the reason for the season, but in Canada, an atheist couple who complained about holiday celebrations got $9,000 in U.S. dollars after their daughter is barred from preschool. So they were awarded this money after they took a case to the Human Rights Tribunal.
Where is this?
This is Canada.
You've got a lot of Canadian news lately.
It's from CNN, yeah, after their daughter was barred from re-enrolling in preschool. All right, so the outspoken parents sued Bowen Island Montessori School, BIMS, in Bowen Island, British Columbia, after the school asked the family to sign a letter agreeing to the school's multicultural curriculum, refusing to register the girl for the following year until the letter was signed. The reason this happened is because it goes back to 2014. The parents had been volunteering on the school board, and they complained that the preschoolers were having to decorate Christmas ornaments that look like elves. When other members of the school board suggested also including Hanukkah activities during holiday season, Mangle, the father, said he objected to any religion in the curriculum. At one point, he emailed the school with photos of alternative atheist ornaments, ranging from an ornament that simply said skeptic to a more provocative one with an image of the Twin Towers captioned, "Atheists don't fly airplanes into buildings." Could you imagine getting this in the school, right? So months go by, and
Atheists don't fly
airplanes into buildings, and so this increases. They argue and argue, and he even goes to a school board meeting. He began doing the Nazi salute and marching around while singing a different version of the song "O Canada," in which he substituted his own lyrics. So the Human Rights Tribunal didn't regard that, but they basically said, so that when the girl was up for pre-enrollment, the school was like, wait a minute, you got to sign this letter and say it's okay that we do that she's going to be exposed to other cultures and religions.
Wow.
They refused to, and the judge actually agreed with the parents, saying that at the end of the day, when you wipe all this off the table, they're denying her entry to the school. They're holding her hostage basically because she has to sign a letter saying it's okay to be exposed to this stuff.
So Canada, and I should know this, having Canadian relatives, but I don't. They don't have the separation of church and state like we do, or it's just not probably talked about. That's a good question for our Canadian
That is a very
listeners.
good question, yeah.
I often wonder, I know the little town that I go to in the beach is having an issue right now that somebody put a nativity scene on the town square.
They're not happy.
Well, people are saying, should it be there or should it not be there? Now they've gone all the way down to the point where there's somebody complaining about the fact that they're putting decorations up on the light poles.
Street.
So whether it's a ribbon or it's a wreath or something, that taxpayers' money should not be wasted on that sort of thing. I love when a little town's dressed up for Christmas or the holidays.
Is there any acceptable level to this any longer? I mean...
Well, you can't do, from what I understand, at a lot of public schools, they don't do the Christmas concerts like we used to do.
We used to love the Christmas concert.
Well,
So if a town decides they're going to hang a neutral thing, like let's say they get a bell shape that lights up and it hangs from the light poles.
I don't know if that's neutral, is it?
I'm supposing you're right because...
you're celebrating the birth of Christ.
Exactly. It's something
Happy
around...
birthday, Jesus.
He's the reason for the season.
Now, and then you go down with then there's the menorah, and then for the Jewish holiday, and then Kwanzaa, which I don't know anybody that celebrates Kwanzaa.
I don't know anybody that celebrates.
I'm sure people
do.
do.
Hey, I don't mean any disrespect to Kwanzaa, but I don't personally.
I know you and I had been to a few buildings here in New York City where they've got everything out there.
It's old.
The only thing missing is a spaghetti strainer.
for whatever holiday that might be. Yeah, I don't know, but
I took that from the girl. Remember the girl who decided she was going to get her picture taken she wanted the strainer on her head? Do you remember that? And they let her. I forget what city it was, but she went to get her driver's license and she wore a spaghetti strainer on her head. And they said you couldn't do that. And she said it's my religious right because people wanted the hubjeeb or whatever. And she won in court. And there's a picture of her on her driver's license. She got a spaghetti strainer on her head.
Given that those pictures are not refreshed, they're only refreshed like every 10 or 15 years. Yeah. She's got that memory of that. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, that's very funny.
I like that.
So yeah, a little atheist story out of Canada.
I don't know if this drink's holding up. It's gotten warm. Tastes a little yuck. Have you tried it?
No, not yet.
I have to switch to Prosecco.
Yeah.
So what caught my eye? Now we were told before the show that this might have been a hoax or it was just done as a PR stunt, that it existed but in very limited quantities. But this was all over social media, and then I actually found it, though, on CNN. The headline is KFC, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, selling Fire Log that smells like fried chicken. So apparently if you go to KFC.com, you can get this 11 herbs and spices log, it's called. And it sold for $18.99. It debuted last Thursday. I tried to go on and get it. I wanted to get it for a friend of mine for Christmas. It says it was sold out already. They only limited to one per person. And as I said, it retailed for $18.99. It's made with 100% recycled materials. It said the KFC 11 herbs and spices Fire Log from Enviro Log is dramatically less wasteful and significantly more effective at making your home smell like fried chicken than actually cooking it or burning it yourself at home. He said the latest creation is the result of countless hours of research and development. It's a 5-pound log, And they said they gave some rules. Each log burns up to 2.5 to 3 hours. It has no shelf life, so it could be stored forever. Must store in a dry, safe area away from pets. It says you might crave chicken when you burn it. It smells great. Don't attempt to eat any of it or taste it. The log may attract bears or neighbors who are hungry, and don't put your face directly into the fire to smell the chicken.
Well, no, that last rule should apply to anything that's burning in a fireplace. But that's
Listen, it's like they had to do with cruise control. Don't leave the wheel. Remember that Winnebago story?
Yeah, I know.
Somebody put the Winnebago on cruise control and went to the back to go to the bathroom. They crashed. They sued and won. So anyway, I don't know if anybody
sued and they won
because there was no disclaimer.
Oh my God, it's so.
So if anybody knows anything about this KFC Fire Log, or you have one, or you've smelled one, let us know. I'm going to still try to find one. So Eric here tells us in the studio that he's thinking they're going to end up on eBay. Somebody bought them, and they'll be.
You mean like they bought the whole?
They you could buy one, but maybe they're going to sell them for $100 or something more. So I don't know. What do you think? Would you get one?
I think it's a really novel idea.
I wanted to get one for you guys.
And then Eric, when he was talking to us before the show, Eric is here at our studio, and he also knows a lot about specialty food items and like one-offs and things like that. And he said that it was a completely real company. I think the EnviroLog thing is recycled material, whatever. But his theory was that this was all like a major. They might have made it, but they might have made it in such small quantity that's a kind of a PR
stunt. Which is smart, I guess. I don't know. Do you want your house? I might want it to smell like Toll House cookies or something.
I'll say this, and Eric said this too. He goes, do you go scent nose blind after a while? So let's say you have a scented candle, and this is the example he used. You have a scented candle that after about a half an hour, do you still smell the candle because you're used to it, right?
I still smell it. I had one go in the other day that actually got me sick. I think it was a kitchen spice candle. And it became a little too strong, once the wax really melted. And sometimes it bothers my breathing. It could be overpowering.
So our favorite scented candle of all time, and that's since I've been around the sun a couple of times,
Many.
Many. But I think that gin and tonic's working just fine with you, even though it's warm, was the one you gave us for Christmas. I think it was 5 years ago, and it was the pine scented.
Yeah, the one from.
It was a special. It was a specific brand. It's not overpowering. You light it, and it just.
It's.
It wasn't a bean one, was it?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I've never quite found a candle that duplicated that mild. It was like being in a glade of trees, but you're in your house. It was really a great smell.
I can see the label, but I can't tell you what it is.
We're very careful with that. Once we realized this was a limited thing, meaning we couldn't find a replacement.
I've never seen them again.
We burn it for a little while. We've found some substitutes, but the one you gave us was the one that was really the kingpin. You know your sense.
Now, I love a candle. That music. Now, if you listen,
and you love a red.
If you listen to David Sedaris, he says you should only have 2 scented candles, and if you can't get either of the 2, you should go without.
What are the 2 scents?
So one is Diptyque brand, and one is called Trudon, French. So I thought I was listening to him. He was on Colbert, and I like Sedaris, and he was giving this graduation speech, and he was giving wisdom to kids, and he said you got to be careful with scented candles. There's only 2 brands you could buy. Trudon and Diptyque, and if you can't get either one of those, you should do without. So I thought, that's kind of fun. That'd be great gifts to give. You know how much those damn candles cost?
Can I guess? I'm guessing a candle was $70 or $80.
They were in the 90 range.
Okay, crazy.
Or higher. Crazy. And I thought, that's a big buy to. Now, in the scheme of some things, maybe not, but I wouldn't bring that as a hostess gift. That's an expensive hostess gift. I wouldn't spend it on myself either. Though, would you spend $100 on yourself for a candle?
And you just reminded me that the only other candle we were given came from our friend Eric Wilson. He came up to visit the house, and the scent is Cade, C-A-D-E or something. It's another one of those kind of like fresh sheets, spring days. I can't even pin it down, but it's mild. It doesn't bother you. You could have it around all day. Yeah.
It's good. I like Votivo candles. There's other candles, Nest candles, all those sort of things. Now, some people say...
remember the guy? So on our old platform one day...
The guy that had the candles?
We get this guy who sends us a PR pitch. He's like, I'm going to come on the show and talk about my candle line.
Yeah.
And I believe that the candles were color coated. So brown was supposed
Yeah.
Well, we get the interview going. We got some sample candles. Listeners are getting excited. They think, I want to check out the candles. And then our friend Chris calls up and says, why would you have someone on who...
Candles didn't exist. It was like Shark Tank. He came on. I think he made 4 candles. You and I each got one. He had one for himself and one for his mother.
Mom. Yeah, you read my mind.
That was it. And he was looking for funding and looking for money to start this candle company. I still have that candle.
I do too.
Did you light it?
We did, and it's not bad, but I just remember Chris's fury and wrath, like, why would you come on and sell something that doesn't exist?
I would like to do a candle line. Yeah, I can't think of this now. I don't know. What would you do? I saw somebody's got this shtick where they're doing scents from different states, so homesick candles. So say you lived in New York City and you were from Oklahoma and you wanted...
I'm going to copyright this one right now, and it's on video. Instead of sex in the city, scents in the city. And we could do candles that smell like different cities.
What would New York smell like?
Everyone does
Not quite yet.
What does that smell like?
Boston, I would definitely do.
Sea?
I would do the sea.
Crabs?
And maybe a little bit of
Seaweed?
that oceany smell. Just toss.
Philly could be like a pretzel.
Philly could be the pretzel. New York could be a pizza.
An
An
Big apple.
It could be apple. It could be pizza. It could be bagel. Bagel smell.
DC could be a wet dog or poop or swamp. Oh, that's an idea, Nash.
San Fran, the homeless.
Rose.
Scents in the cities.
Oh, Rosie. That's an idea, Nash. Let's get on it. We'll be on QVC.
Copyrighted right here, trademark.
QVC before you know it.
We are going to be selling it by the shipful, a container. We're going to have a container made.
Listen. We should also be doing those other things, the candeliers.
Yeah, well, Bob wanted original parts, and whatever. We know. You and I know, Tim. You and I know.
He's going to be upset when he sees us on QVC next year. Yeah. It's business birthday.
Everyone does celebrity birthday greetings, but the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
I know Mr. Nash very well. Born today, and I bet you he loves this guy. Born today, December 19th, 1970, he's 48 years old, an American model and actor, best known as Ralph Lauren Polo model. He is also described as the most successful male supermodel of all time, achieving fame in huge contracts similar to female models. And he's the most successful male model of all time, Tyson Beckford.
I'm going to say yes to I'm going to say happy birthday, Tyson.
I think
he's an extremely handsome man.
I was picked on and bullied a lot as a kid.
Really?
Yep. People made fun of him. He was he was born in Rochester, New York. His mother is Chinese Jamaican, and his father is Afro Jamaican from Panama.
Wow, what a mix, huh?
So after he was born, the mother and family moved back to Jamaica. They lived there for 7 years, and they came back to New York. He lived in the Bronx, and during the school year, he was teased often about his looks because of he's got a very exotic look, of course.
I find that so bizarre because I think he's got such a unique, handsome look.
See, I wouldn't get Chinese or Asian out of that, but I guess if you look, I don't know, maybe if you look close.
I just get Tyson Beckford out of it. A great jawline.
Oh, he's super
stunning. Handsome. So it's shocking that he was made fun of for his looks, right?
He was recruited to a hip hop magazine called The Source by a talent scout in 1992, and they said they discovered him in New York City on a park. 1993, he was recruited by Ralph Lauren as the front model for the Polo line of male sportswear. He was named Man of the Year. Then, of course, VH1 picked up on him. He was in every sort of hot male, hot celebrity, sort of look. He's an ambassador for the nonprofit Kick for Life, which is an organization that uses the power of soccer to engage vulnerable youth in holistic care and support in Southern Africa. I don't like when these people do things in other countries. I said that before. There's plenty of communities here that are underserved that could use assistance.
I mean, he feels passionate about it, right?
Well, he's getting paid, probably. On 2005, he was injured in an accident in Secaucus, New Jersey. He lost control of his pickup truck and hit a utility pole. He was able to pull himself out as the truck immediately caught on fire. He was later interviewed by Oprah Winfrey and claimed the accident had a profound effect on his spirituality. All the money in the world, he was driving a pickup.
I was going to say that, and did that lead into Chippendales, the spiritual?
And he said, and then he's out in Vegas as a Chippendale. Now, I was wondering about this. I couldn't get any other pictures. There were a couple of nudes, which we can't show on the video, which I was going to do for you, but you can Google them yourself.
Listen to Tim, which I was going to do for you, but you can Google them yourself. Okay.
Lots of booty pic.
NSFW, not safe for work. Okay.
Happy birthday, Tyson. He's 48, John.
Well, you know what? He wears it well. I always thought, from the minute I saw him on magazine covers, and he I think he's been on Men's Health, Men's Fitness. He's been in some of the best clothing lines. I always thought, my God, he's such a handsome guy.
Well, I give him credit. So he's hosted or co-hosted a number of other sort of these celebrity reality shows, and I think a lot of these models, and I think it's difficult because they're so young, and a lot of times, particularly the women. And what do you do afterwards?
You know, that's a great little sidebar to have a quick conversation about. We were doing an ad that you liked that we did years ago for Diet Pepsi, more taste, more fun, more yum, the 3 male models kind of looking right at the camera. One of the guys had been discovered in California in Santa Monica, walking along the beach. He was a landscape architect by trade. And this woman gives him the card and says, you know, do you want to be a model? And he thought it was all kind of crazy, but he followed up on it. He had headshots done. Suddenly he's in New York, he's modeling, and he was doing this Diet Pepsi ad that we were doing. And super nice guy. And at one point, I'm sitting with a photographer, and Tim will know this from photo shoots. As photography moved digital, we would instantaneously see the results. It used to be you had to wait days to get the prints back, but I'm sitting in front of a big iMac, and there are rows of, and I'm telling the photographer which are my selects, and I go, that one, that one, that one, that one. Then he'd swipe, and he'd get another 34 up or whatever the number was. And this particular model, this male model who was kind of our lead model, the landscape architect guy, was sitting behind me, and he finally says, after about 2 or 3 panels of looking at the pictures, he goes, how are you able to do that? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, how are you able to so quickly pick the ones that are the selects? And then we got it down to 10, then we got it down to 5, then we got it down to 3. And I said, it's like everything. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's practice. I said, it's not exactly, I said, there may be a talent for composition. And I said, why do you ask? He goes, I know that this gig, I'm not going to be doing this forever. I don't take it, he said, I take it seriously enough, but I know I'm not going to be on this train. And that someday the train's going to pull away and it's going to be bye-bye. And so he was already thinking about what's the next step, which I really admire, because that's a smart business guy, right?
What do you think would be the next step? I mean, that's where I think the struggle is with a lot of these.
I think that if I remember correctly, he ended up going behind the camera.
Yeah.
So now he's a model. He's been in the situation. Now he could be a photographer. I don't know if that ended up being the whole thing, but that would be one logical place to go.
Yeah, I have a good friend whose daughter, I went to college with him. His daughter's one of the Victoria's Secret angels.
Wow.
And obviously millions of notoriety, plus just almost living in what he says is somewhat of an unrealistic life at her age. And his son is also a supermodel, and another daughter.
Wow.
Is starting, and he had talked to me. I was sure I was going to have them. So Taylor Hill is the daughter's name. We were going to have her on the show. Maybe in the new year we'll have her on.
I would love to have her on.
She's based in New York, and he constantly says to her, this is not
real.
Going to last forever.
Well, it's real, but it's not going to last forever.
It's real, but we need to figure, you need to make sure you're deciding, and he's saying the same thing to his son, get an education, do this modeling and do all the other things, but you also need to continue to evolve and grow, because you're not going to be a model forever.
No, you're not.
Just because that's how fickle the
industry
is. Yeah. So, hey, we have a call from Billy in New York. Hello, Billy.
Hey, baby, it's cold outside.
You know that.
Yeah. You threw Tyson up there, and I kind of kerfuffled where I was going. Where were we? Oh, candles, yes.
And you have a suggestion for candles?
I seen this on the old interweb, and they say they last for months. A Crisco candle.
Crisco candle?
Yeah, I figured John's a scientist. He could try it out and let us know how it works.
But what do you make it at a Crisco? Does it smell?
Apparently, you take a Crisco can and you insert a wick down into it and light that sucker, and it's supposed to last, well, some people say 2 months.
I wonder what it smells like.
Well, Billy, it's oil, right? Crisco
Yeah.
is oil. It's fat for
Crisco
cooking.
oil.
Yeah. But this is the lard stuff.
Right.
This is the can.
Crack-a-lack chicken, yeah.
Well, I wonder if you threw some essential oils in there, I guess you'd get a smell.
There you go.
Well, maybe this could be John's. What were you doing? Sense in the City. Oh, wait, there's one. Somebody put. Did you find this, Garrett?
Oh,
John?
you know, again, what do we say? Billy, we said this at the beginning of the show. You can't have a show without the guys in the booth, and they're amazing. And yes, someone has actually done this.
Yes, because, Garrett apparently is the Studmeister now, so there it is.
Yeah, people love his voice.
Got a haircut, too.
Look at this. It's a can of Crisco.
Well, we're having an entire sidebar about emotional support chickens here on Facebook on the site.
An emotional
support chicken. I wonder if they're allowed to fly.
Mary Ann must be involved in that.
Like I said to Ruth, I ate mine.
That did support you, all right.
Is Ruth on there with you?
Oh, well, she's on the written part here on the side of the note.
Okay, well, let her know that we're going to open her gift in the next segment. She sent us a gift, which we don't know what it is, but we're going to open it up on air, so you can let her know.
She's paying attention. Well, Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you, Billy. Merry Christmas to you as well.
I'll catch you in the new year. I'm taking a Facebook vacation.
Oh, that's a smart one. Thank you.
Smart idea. Thank you, Billy. So many of you know that Deep Discount's a partner of ours here on the Focus Group. Right now they've got the last-minute gift sale going on. If you go to focusgroupradio.com, just click on the Deep Discount logo and start shopping away. And there's ways you can still get things in time for Christmas, or if you give New Year's gifts. Some people give New Year's gifts or give gifts after the
Look, Deep
Christmas.
Discount has so much stuff that you could just make up your own holiday and get some from the site and give it as a gift. I mean, there's a lot to do.
What did you pick this week?
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, Lauren, who is our great friend at Deep Discount, sent me a movie called Scotty, which I gave to you to watch. So Scotty came from a studio called Kino Lorber. And I would just mention to our listeners as well that one way you can shop on Deep Discount is by studio. And studios have personalities. You know, they collect films to be part of it, like Criterion, Kino Lorber. There's a personality to those collections. And so after she gave us Scotty, she said, those guys, Kino Lorber, they're super cool. Check them out. So I went to their site, and I got on Deep Discount, because they're carried by Deep Discount, a documentary about Tom of Finland.
Oh.
And it's called Daddy and the Muscle Academy, The Life, Art, and Times of Tom of Finland. And it's 50 minutes long. And it takes a look at the entire Tom of Finland origins, how he began doing illustrations for male physique magazines.
Swedish or something? Or
Norwegian.
Norwegian.
And it was Finnish, actually, because he would sign his work Tom, and then somebody would say of Finland, and that's how it became Tom of Finland.
Is he Swedish, or was he? No.
It is subtitled when he speaks because he speaks his native language, but it's fascinating to look at the effect he had on gay male culture in terms of physique and look and style. So I'm going to give it to you to watch, because we watched it. Yes, we watched it this past weekend. The documentary was originally done in the early to mid 90s. Kino Lorber acquired the title a few years ago, and I'm glad they're distributing it, because it's a really interesting look at his artwork and how it affected generations of gay men, frankly.
And it's in Finnish?
No, it's in English, but when he speaks, there's subtitles, because he's.
You know, I've talked about it before. One of my favorite countries in Europe that I visited was Finland. Out of the blue. But it may be one of the most horrible sounding languages I've ever heard. I had some expectation it was going to be more sing-songy.
It's different from German. It's different.
It's more like some sort of something out of another planet. I mean, it's a difficult language. We would go to places and just hear blaring. I'd be like, oh my God, I'd go nuts. I picked something I've never seen before. I don't know why. I guess it's because I don't play it, but it's the Jack Paar collection.
And Jack Paar was the original host.
So he took over the Tonight Show from Steve Allen. So Jack Paar was asked to succeed Steve Allen for the Tonight Show in July of 1957, and he stayed host until 1962. But they said he was very, very unpredictable, emotional, and principled. But it was a tough slog for him doing the show. And they said that they gave an example. They said when the network censors cut a joke about a water closet, he used the term water closet instead of toilet. They had cut it from the show in February 1960. Before airtime. So he walked off the set
Wow.
in protest, and he was gone for 3 weeks until the network apologized and let him tell the joke. So he must have had a guest host or something, yeah.
3 weeks.
So they said that it was his emotional nature made the everyday routine of putting together a 105-minute program very difficult.
That's good.
So
this is an interesting find.
So he left the Tonight Show, and it was given, of course, then to Johnny Carson.
Young Johnny Carson.
And he did confide later on to Dick Cavett that it was the biggest mistake he ever made in his life.
Leaving the show.
Leaving the show. But he did have great guests. And so this DVD covers, you can get it for under $20. It's $19.54 at deep discount. Everybody from Betty Davis to Dodie Goodman, Judy Garland, Richard Burton, Bill Cosby, Woody Allen, Dick Cavett, Muhammad Ali. He was also, way before Ed Sullivan, I didn't realize this, he was the first one to show the Beatles performing a month before their appearance.
A live, actual studio performance. Wow.
And or he said he showed clips of them performing. So they credit him of introducing the Beatles to America before Sullivan, although Sullivan gets the credit, I guess, because it was a live show. And then one interesting fact, they said in his final closing segment of the series on June 25th, 1965, he was featured sitting on a stool and he was talking to an empty audience. And his dog was there. And then they called the dog, and the dog came, and they walked off stage. And they said that, and somewhat of an odd twist of fate, they said Johnny Carson used the same format without the dog in his farewell on the stool to an empty studio audience.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of the great things about Deep Discount.
But you never see. I don't see this anywhere. Do you? Have you ever?
I was
seen
literally just going to say, not only have I not seen it, you're not going to find it streaming.
No, you're not going to find it anywhere.
And it's a piece of history that is well worth watching, because these are the guys that created the late night format and the whole feel. So, new release this week is a movie called The House with a Clock in Its Walls. It stars Cate Blanchett and Jack Black. It's sort of I call it a young, what do they call that? Young adult, YA.
So I was going to say, is it young adult? Because I like the premise of it. I like the way it sounds, but is it a young adult kind of Hardy Boys?
I think it's based on a YA story. That's the only reason I would call it that. But so it's back in the 50s. Orphaned Louis Barnevelt, Owen Vaccaro, was packed off to live in the creepy Michigan home of his oddball uncle Jonathan, Jack Black, and discovered to his amazement that his guardian was a warlock, and the lady next door, Cate Blanchett, was a witch. His new desire to dabble in magic, however, triggered the house's worst secret, the doomsday clock it was built to contain. So it says Eli Ross read on the John Belair's Kidlit Classic. That's the Kidlit Classics. Yeah. Kyle MacLachlan, Renee Elise Goldsberry, 104 minutes. It's a 2-disc set with some special editions. So it's The House with a Clock in Its Walls. That's
I like Kyle MacLachlan.
You like?
Dark hair guy, right?
Yeah.
For years, you wouldn't know this living here, but he did all the Subaru commercials in Japan.
Seriously?
I loved him.
That reminds me of Bill Murray, Lost in Translation, Suntory Time.
Kyle MacLachlan was the Subaru guy.
All right, let's recap for you. I recommended from Kino Lorber Studios, carried by Deep Discount, Daddy and the Muscle Academy. Tim recommended the great piece, Jack Parr Collection.
Yep.
When he, not the entire thing, but a lot of his hosting of the late night.
There's over 400 minutes of it.
That's a lot. And the release this week is The House with a Clock in Its Walls, Cate Blanchett and Jack Black. What do we say, Garrett?
Thanks, Deep Discount.
Like it's sexier. Say it's sexier.
Thanks, Deep Discount.
That's what the boys are looking for, Garrett.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
I think they're looking for the normal old Garrett Delivery. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we have a fun little shop talk about culinary tastes in the White House. So stay with us.
Brought to you by the Volkswagen Tiguan. Visit VW.com to learn more. Focus on the savvy side of 9 to 5 with the Focus Group.
Try, really try.
Listen, laugh, and learn with Tim and John.
I never try anything. I just do it.
Hey, welcome back to the Focus Group. Merry Christmas. I got to do a high-pitched voice. I don't have the sexy Garrett voice down.
I've been running around the apartment doing things like Bob has a bunch of coworkers, Britt, Cat, Jerry, and I do this. Brit, Cat, Jerry, Keith. I was like, oh, Brit, Cat, Jerry, Keith. God bless us all, everyone. They're like, oh, you're such a sweet guy. Thanks for that Tiny Tim thing. So I like,
Yeah.
I'm turning Christmas into my own little personal.
Your own thing. So this is our show before Christmas. We hope everybody has a happy, wonderful, safe Christmas and
Travel safe. Yeah.
Travel safe, and we're going to have a little bit of holiday merriment after we do this quick segment. But John found this, which I said was quite funny, and I was interested in.
Knocked out the other story we had picked.
The title was White House Meals for Trump versus Obama show their culinary tastes are dramatically different. Who knew?
So let's kick it off with what you found so funny.
The funniest thing that I read this whole thing, and it talks about how the eating habits of Trump and Obama and their families probably. But what I found the funniest thing here, they said the president's first meal in the White House was an overcooked steak with ketchup. Can you imagine? So his first meal is it says, and how nasty is that? He ate an overcooked steak with ketchup for his first meal as president.
It's only nasty if you think an overcooked steak with ketchup is like kind of gross.
Well, here's what I don't understand. So they have a chef in the White House, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a chef in the White House, you do have to buy your own food.
Yep.
But if somebody's cooking for you, it's so easy to eat a well-balanced diet and eat good food. I always make bad choices, I think, sometimes for ease. But if I had somebody cooking food to me, I'd say, I want low carb, high protein.
I want a filet mignon, green beans.
With some broccoli.
Yeah, there you go.
Done. But not the case.
No. And so another paragraph here, it turns out that the Obamas liked to go out to dinner. They didn't always eat in the White House.
I was surprised by that. How would they get out, I wonder?
I don't know. The Secret Service must have arranged it, but they liked going out to different restaurants, trying different foods.
Yeah, that's great.
And it said, instead, Trump prefers to eat at the White House. The New York Times further notes that his meal preferences look extremely different. While the White House kitchen cooked up Brussels sprouts and shakshuka, egg-based Moroccan dish, shakshuka.
The Obamas.
Under Obama's eye, according to the outlet, it now turns out meatloaf and ice cream for the president. And you just know meatloaf is this like gelatinous thwonk, goes into the tray, thwonk, goes into the oven, and the ice cream's pretty simple, right?
Well, they showed all kinds of pictures of Trump on the campaign trail at McDonald's, right? Or a bucket of chicken or whatever, yeah.
So it said, also it noted that there's been a change in the way chefs work. So apparently Michelle and Barack Obama used to have guest chefs come in as well,
right,
and experiment with cuisine. I think it was the same under George W. Bush as well. He experimented a bit, but it's filtered down through to other areas of the administration, namely Sonny Perdue.
The Department of Agriculture.
I love his name,
Sonny Perdue.
Sonny.
Is he the chicken guy, Perdue?
No, but it's Sonn, Sonny. Not S-U-N.
That's my dad's nickname.
Sonny is your dad's name?
S-O-N-N-Y.
Sonny Perdue.
That's how we knew as kids whether somebody really knew my dad or not.
If he said Sonny.
Called and looked for Glenn, we knew it was not somebody that was in on it.
Click.
If you're looking for Sonny,
then they knew
him.
Yeah. So Sonny has changed some of the requirements for schools, and basically, once again, it's Trump rolling back an Obama policy. It's almost as if he came into the White House with a list of everything that President Obama did and thought, I'm going to get rid of all of it. I'm going to erase his legacy. But,
ridiculous.
But the sad part is you can't erase it. It's part of our history. It's been, it doesn't matter whether or not. So Sonny Perdue now recommends that schools...
High-fat, high-salt diet.
Yeah, Tim just said it. High-fat, high-salt. Because Michelle and Barack had their agricultural department put in place for school kids, whole grain meals, more vegetables. And Sonny just simply said, if kids are not eating what is being served, they are not benefiting and food is being wasted.
Food's being wasted, so give them what they want, right?
Salt,
give the people what they want.
Chips.
Did you do school lunches when you were in, or did you bring your lunch? Did you buy the school lunch? I would go through waves.
We had both. If there were days when my parents were not in the mood to do the bag lunch, we would do cafeteria, and it wasn't expensive.
No, it was like 50 cents.
50 cents or something. I just remember those gross wax beans. Remember those? They were white or those
yellow ones. We'd yellow. I used to love the pizza.
Oh my God, pizza day was
which
the best.
was
all bread.
Whatever.
It's bread
and then I used to always enjoy the hamburger too, which you can never replicate. Who knows where it came from?
I just remember one of the teachers named Gracie Coomer I don't know why. She used to wear crepe-soled shoes, and she slipped on a wax bean, and that's when they stopped serving them. So she slipped, the tray flew up in the air, everything flies around, she lands on her back, everybody laughs. She wasn't laughing, she was actually hurt very badly, and then that was when wax beans were never again served in the cafeteria. Memorial.
Well, they were talking about this. We always had a little lunchbox, right? So if you had your thermos and you had your lunchbox, and if your mother made you bologna sandwich with mayonnaise or whatever.
Yeah.
You think about it, the thing would bake in the sun. It wasn't refrigerated. We all lived.
We all lived.
It's like, oh, I can't leave the mayonnaise out. You can't.
Better yet, remember the days you brought egg salad sandwiches?
Yeah.
Well, you talk about how people are paranoid.
You would open up and it would smell when you would open up. You'd open up your little lunchbox, I had a Munster's lunchbox.
We were known as liverwurst kids.
Ooh, your mother made liverwurst?
No, my dad did. My dad loved, what was the bologna with the
olive loaf?
With the olive loaf,
my
and
dad
he loved liverwurst.
Really?
And I would have friends.
Mustard and onion?
Oh, I would have friends slide down the bench when when my little Star Trek lunchbox opened and the liverwurst came out. Woo! Oh, you're getting liverwurst again, Nash. Did you get anything good in there? Like I get an apple. I should have gotten liverwurst and a Twinkie, a Ding Dong, or a Ho Ho because at least that would compensate for the liverwurst.
It was a little bag of Fritos.
Oh, that was my favorite, and they were the lunch size.
We got apples in the fall, but I didn't like an apple.
Neither did I.
I wanted a little snack, and I used to have those little junior cupcakes.
Yeah, you wanted sugar. You wanted a snack. Yeah.
And you could also buy. I don't know if you had this because we were in different grammar schools or grade schools. You could get 2 Good Humor bars, like the strawberry or the toasted almond or whatever, for a quarter.
We had them too. Yeah, we did. And they were not that big.
15 cents for one, 2 for a quarter.
And milk was like a nickel.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it was great.
So, hey, Sunny Purdue, bring that back. Bring that back. All right.
Listen, all you have to do is watch old we talked about this. If you watch old American Bandstand or old Soul Train dance shows.
It's the
look at how fit everybody was.
Wasn't killing anybody, right?
Yeah. And so we didn't have all the garbage we eat now.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready to open up a bottle of Prosecco,
so let people know we're coming back then.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to open some gifts and we're having some holiday merriment, and that's going to be our way of wrapping up before Christmas. So come right back. Don't go anywhere.
Don't pop it until we come back.
No.
Brought to you by the 7-seater Volkswagen Atlas. Life's as big as you make it. Visit VW.com to learn more. Focus on the savvy side of 9 to 5 with the Focus Group.
Been in business a week. I got more money than I know what to do with.
Listen, laugh, and learn with Tim and John.
Herrera Rocher. He is doing well.
We don't expect it, but it's much appreciated. Thanks to the listeners who sent us some gifts.
Ready?
We can't. John's going to pop some Prosecco for us.
Oh, Garrett, I think that was a good audio cue, right? Yeah.
So without Bob and Richard here with us, we used to always, for years and years, we always had Manhattans on our Christmas special.
Might not have been the wisest thing for John.
No?
Oh, boy, that sent me over. You know how crazy I got on those Manhattans.
I
watched myself, and I'm slurring words, and I'm laughing.
It's fun. I know we don't. Are you going to give me some, or are you going to talk about it?
You...
Oh my goodness, did you see me?
I just love hearing John laugh in the booth, and Garrett's like...
a little thimble. I mean, we got a bottle.
Yeah, we got a bottle. It's true. And it's Prosecco. It's not exactly,
So we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We had 2 gifts that would arrive this week, and which one do you want to do first?
You open that one first, and Garrett got
This was from Ruth in Pennsylvania. Ruth's been a fan of the show forever. And now, I will say I was a little scared when the box came.
Why?
So this box arrives at my...
So nicely wrapped?
No, it arrived at my house in some beat-up old postage box.
Yeah.
And I didn't really recognize, because Ruth has a different name online. Now, truth be told, I didn't know this. My very first crush in college is a friend of Ruth's.
Oh, no.
The girl's name is Guyan Allworth. And Ruth, who watches the show, knew that I went to Marietta College, and I loved Guyan. Guyan was a couple of years older, and she was very kind of this exotic. She danced to the B-52s. I loved Guyan.
She loved your music.
She was very artsy. She was an art major, but she didn't know that I existed.
That would drive you crazy.
I tried everything I could to get her attention.
That would drive you crazy.
She was always very pleasant, but it really didn't take a shine to me. And I decided we were going to have a formal, and I was going to ask her to the dance. And I had mentioned it to another friend of mine, another rowing friend, and he jumped the gun and asked her, and she went with him. And then I was done after that.
With him or her?
With her.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been.
She didn't know.
He didn't know what he had.
No, he did not. And
she didn't know what she missed. But so Ruth says to me, by the way, we have a common friend. I said, who the heck could it be? So she tells me it's Guy. And so this arrives, and I was a little scared. I thought, who is it? I don't even know who this is from, but it's addressed to me. And so then I open it up, so it's beautifully wrapped, and then it's got a card. Let me read you the card. It says, Dear Tim and John, Merry Christmas from your loyal focus group groupie, Ruth from Pennsylvania. This is something that caught my eye while I was shopping, and I thought if partygoers do not want to participate in your USA map puzzle,
60 pieces for 50 states. Continue.
Which we're going to be doing this between Christmas and New Year's. We're going to have a contest. Then perhaps this could be an alternative. Honestly, I thought this was the most bizarre thing I've seen in quite some time. Enjoy. So we don't know what it is.
The most bizarre thing for Ruth to say that, and sometimes save the card.
Yeah, so we'll see what she saw. God only knows. So we're opening this. I can't even tell what this is. Oh my gosh. Paper Carnival paper dolls. Oh,
you know,
God.
Wait. You got to hold that up again. It is, I think it's almost politically incorrect as well, right? There's someone as an Indian. There's someone as a harlequin. That's the costume on the far right. A flapper. This is hysterical, and it's a choking hazard too.
I wonder where she got this. It says distributed in the United States by Trilon in West Hills, California. I wonder what it is. We'll have to.
Well, it's paper dolls.
I know, but I wonder what this cost. Thank you, Ruth.
Oh my God! Look! It's like when we were. My sisters had stuff like this. You would stand the doll. See, there's little things you would put on.
We're gonna have to dress them, and maybe for our next show we'll have them.
I think our in a New Year's show we got to. And you know what would be hilarious, Tim? Every show there's a doll with a different costume on the table.
Oh my God!
This could be.
Yeah,
I love this, Ruth. Very smart.
Thank you, Ruth.
Very smart.
This is funny. Well, we'll have
and you know, did she say what did she say was the most bizarre
thing she's seen in a while? Yeah, it is very politically incorrect. I mean, as I look,
I'll read it again. Honestly, I thought this was the most bizarre thing I've seen in quite some time. Enjoy with 2 exclamations. Look at the back.
Ruth, you'll have to let us know where you got this from.
This is great. This is a great toy. This is fun.
Not suitable for ages under 3.
Well, and adults that need to go to safe rooms.
So we also got another box now. What was in that one?
So this came about a week ago, and Garrett said you got a box here. And Garrett did the honors of slicing the tape, so we don't have to go crazy here in the studio. But
so where'd this come from?
This came from Texas, Fort Worth.
Does it give a name? Because we've got things from Texas before, and nobody will tell us who the Texas person is.
I think I have emails from, yeah.
Do we know who the Texas person is?
I think so.
Is it George Bush?
All right, so folks, it is filled.
Oh my God.
So John's favorite, mine, red velvet. Love red velvet Oreos.
Velvet Oreos.
Chocolate peanut butter cup, guys. Do we like chocolate peanut butter cup? Was this a favorite?
We had those. We like those. The chocolate peanut butter pie. We like that one. I think this is like a Garrett box.
This is a Garrett box. Yeah. This is.
Oh, open those up.
Oreo candy canes.
So some guy contacted us. Who was it? Chip? I think his name is Chip. Contacted us and asked us if we'd had the Oreo candy canes, and he said you have to get them.
All right, so this is for John. I have a Porsche. It's a Hot Wheel. And Tim, you got a great one. Tim gets a Motosaurus.
What?
It's a dinosaur as a car. Motosaurus.
A dinosaur?
I'm not reading into it. You can do that if you want.
These are the Oreo-flavored candy canes.
All right, here's another Oreo flavor called Chocolate Candy Bar. Guys, I've not seen this before. Are these like individually wrapped or something?
Taste of this.
What? This is a candy cane?
So Chip, I saw these.
Oh my God, Tim!
So Chip had told me what these taste like, and he was exactly right. When you tasted, tell me what they taste like.
It's an Oreo cookie.
Not only an Oreo cookie, they also taste like a Tootsie Pop, a chocolate Tootsie Pop.
It tastes more like a Tootsie Pop than it does. All right, then we got fudge-dipped Thins.
Oh, my gosh.
This is a box. And then, last but not least, guys, I have never in my life heard of this. Golden Oreos.
Cereal.
A cereal.
Oh, my gosh. You know, I don't eat cereal much anymore, do you?
All right, so let us
Tiny.
arrange this booty here, right? This is like amazing. I got a Hot Wheels. We got.
Do we know who sent this again? They won't acknowledge who they are, but thank you.
Look at this. It's amazing. This is like a focus group Christmas come true, and then we have our paper dolls.
Ruth, we got all this stuff here. What a wonderful Christmas! You know what?
Oh my God! God bless us all, everyone. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I feel the spirit.
For the two of you that listen each week, we appreciate.
Did you see? I feel the spirit. I'm in the spirit at last. Garrett, are you in the spirit?
Almost. I'm almost there, guys.
For the two people who listen each week and my mother, thank you for everything.
For the two people.
Look at that.
What I think that my favorite, though, is the Matchbox. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the sticker that says our names is Yoda.
Oh!
It's a very cleverly done. It says, and look at the beautiful handwriting. Like, that's like our moms would write, like really nice cursive.
I want to know who this is. I think it's George Bush.
This is a confident hand, too. Look how he wrote for Tim. That's
well, and I would also guess he's over 40 because it's script.
It's beautifully written, right? But I love this. It's so themed.
Or she. I guess it could be a she.
But it's themed to you and me. Yoda, Hot Wheels, Oreos, and you love the candy canes. We have paper dolls to play with.
I'm going to be curious. Garrett, have you tried these candy canes?
No. I want to try that cereal, though.
You will be, yeah.
Well, that's that cereal.
Yeah.
Because Garrett loves the Goldens.
Are the candy canes minty at all?
No, they're just.
good.
Did you like a Tootsie Roll, the Tootsie Pop, the chocolate one?
Yeah, they're fine.
That's kind of what they're like, but I think they even taste better. Because I wasn't a fan of the Tootsie Roll, the chocolate one. But those are good. But somebody online, I believe it was Chip, one of our listeners, said, "Have you tried these?" And he said,
I didn't even know they made these.
I saw these at Giant, but I haven't seen this other stuff. What is that? Candies? You said?
It's a chocolate candy bar. And it's made by Oreo.
That looks good too.
It's fun-sized Christmas, but yes, thank you. We can't thank you enough. This is so
magical
much
Christmas.
It's so fun. Yes, Tim, the spirit's invading my cold little heart. I feel like the Grinch. When his heart gets bigger and he decides to give all the gifts back at the end. You're not going to let me go that far, right?
That's good. I like that.
All right, so last minute things. Anything you're going up to your families for Christmas?
I'm going to Connecticut where the past is still present.
I'll be there too. I'll be at my mom's for the day. My sister's making dinner. I'm bringing a special dessert for my mom.
You are?
Because she can't have things with milk, so I'm making a...
Is your mom lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I'm making a special milkless eggnog cake. Bob's actually helping.
Milkless?
Eggnog cake, yeah. Lactaid, this...
Oh, you're using Lactaid.
Lactaid makes eggnog, so we're going to do eggnog cake. Bob makes it for my mom every year. She loves it.
It's a cake.
Like a pound cake.
Do you drink an eggnog with a little hit of nutmeg in it and a shot of whiskey?
I haven't done the whiskey, but I don't mind eggnog at all.
You got to put a shot of whiskey in it, John.
I think it's literally designed for that, right? I mean, it's got all the sugar and...
It's really good.
I'm looking at the monitor. Look at our bounty. We have all
I don't know why we don't keep this set year-round.
John, there must be something I could do to make everything look like run down. Like dirty. Like
the trees, the bulbs.
By July,
the bulbs are out on the tree.
It's dim. Yeah, the bulbs are out. I had to think about that one because there might be something to do about that.
Well, John, there we go. So we hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
Hey, another big thank you to John and Garrett in the booth, guys. Thank you for all your hard work this year. You make it a pleasure to bring the show to everybody this week. And everybody that's listening, remember the boys in the booth. Just remember, send a good vibe their way because they're super cool. We want to thank Deep Discount for being a partner of ours here on the Focus Group. We've enjoyed working with them for these last couple of years. Go to deepdiscount.com and get there by going to focusgroupradio.com first. Click on Sharky the Shark, and that is his name. The name of the mascot, Sharky. And start shopping. It's New Year's sales, last minute sale. Basically, the whole site is on sale in some way or another, and we gave you some great ideas earlier in the show to start your video collection or to add to it. And a big thanks to Volkswagen of America for being a partner of ours here on the show. VW.com is where you need to go to check out all of the year's deals, and this is the best time of year to buy a car, I would offer, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, because they want to get rid of the old models.
Want to make their numbers.
That's the way to say it. They want to move metal, and they want to make their numbers. So everybody have a wonderful holiday, and be sure to tune in next week, the day after Christmas. We have a special broadcast for you. It's a retro focus group. Me and Tim look at some of our favorite toys from when we were kids and the advertising that got us to beg mom and dad for those toys.
Not only that, tell them what else is about the show that's different.
It's in black and white. John turned us on to this, like, you do the show in black and white. We're like, we'll do the show in black and white. So it's a retro focus group Christmas. Hey, be safe, everyone. Travel safe. Get to your destinations on time and have a great holiday. And we'll see you in the new year. Oh, Garrett's doing the wheel. Don't text and drive. Arrive alive.
You and I cannot get it done.
That's why we have the boys in the booth.
It's The Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.
That was a stunning focus group.